Chapter 44: Serious Style of Aleister Crowley, or the Apparent Frivolity of Some of My Remarks. And Carisor, do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. Far off indeed those sunny days when life in England was worth living, when one could travel anywhere in Europe, except Russia and Turkey, which spiritually at least are in Asia or America, without a passport. When we complained that closing time was 12:30 a.m., when there was little or no class bitterness, the future seemed secure, and only nonconformists failed to enjoy the fun that bubbled up on every side. Well, in those days, there were music halls. I can't hope to explain to you what they were like, but they were jolly. I'm afraid that there's another word beyond the scope of your universe. At the Empire, Leicester Square, which at that time actually looked as if it had been lifted bodily from the Contentong, a very wicked place. There was a promenade with bars complete, drinking bars, my dear child, I blush to say, where one might hope to find strength and beauty met together, kindle their image like a star in a sea of glassy weather. There one might always find London's soiled doves, as they revoltantly call themselves in the papers, of every type. Theodora, celebrated Christian Express, and Phryne, Messalina, Thias, Baldair's swarthy mistress, and Nana, Moll Flanders, and Fanny Hill. But the enemies of life were on guard. They saw people enjoying themselves, shame, and they raked through the mildewed parchments of obsolete laws until they found some long forgotten piece of mischief that might stop it. The withered husk of womanhood, idle, frustrated, spiteful, and malignant, called up their forces, blackmailed the church into supporting them, and began a senseless string of prosecutions. Notably in infamy stands out the name of Mrs. Ormiston Chant. So here we had the trial of some harmless girl for accosting. It was a scene from this that inspired Ravenhill's admirable cartoon. A, quote, pale young curate is in the witness box. The prisoner, he drawled, made improper proposals to me. The actual words used were, and I quote, "Why do you look so sad, Bertie?" End quote. The magistrate said, "A very natural question." Now, 50 years later, here am I in the dock. How can you expect people to take your magic seriously? I hear from every person, when you write so gleefully about it, with your tongue always in your cheek. The curate's twang, the solemnity of self importance, all manners that do not disclose the real man, are abominations. Anathema Marantha, or any other day of the week. These painted masks are devised to conceal chicanery or emptiness. The easygoing, humorous style of Vivekananda is intelligible and instructive. The platitudinous hot potatoes of weight are neither. The dreadful thing is that this assumption of learning, of holiness, of mysterious avenging powers, somehow deceives the average student. He does not realize how well and wisely such have conned Wilde's maxim, to be intelligible is to be found out. I know that I too am at times obscure. I lament the fact. The reason is twofold. A, my ineradicable belief that my reader knows all about the subject better than I do myself, and, at best, may like to hear it tackled from a novel angle. And B, I am carried away by the exultant exaltation of my theme. I boil over with rapture, not the crystal clear, the cool solution that I'm aimed at. On the path of the wise, there is probably no danger more deadly, no poison more pernicious. No seduction more subtle than spiritual pride. It strikes, being solar, at the very heart of the aspirant. More, it is an inflation and exacerbation of the ego, so that its victim runs the peril of straying into a black lodge and finding himself at home there. Against this risk, we look to our insurance. There are two infallible: common sense and the sense of humor. To this rule, there is, as usual with rules, an exception. Some states of mind are of the same structure as poetry, where the one step from the sublime to the ridiculous is an easy and fatal step. But even so, pedantry is as bad as ribaldry. Personally, I have tried to avoid the dilemma by the use of poetic language and form. For instance, in the book Aha, it is all difficult, damn difficult. But if it must be that one's most sacred shine be profaned, let it be the clean assault of laughter rather than the slimy smear of sanctimoniousness. There, or thereabouts, we must leave it. Out of the fullness of the heart the mouth speaketh, and I cannot sing the words of an epithalamium to the music of a dirge. Besides, what says the poet? Love's at its height in pure love? Nay, but after when the song's light dissolves gently in laughter. Oh, one more word, as Browning said. Actions speak louder than words. Do you see what is my mark? It is you that I am going to put in the dock about being serious, and that will take a separate letter. Part of the answer to yours received on March the 10th, 1944, and in general to your entire course of conduct since you came to me, now over a year ago. Love is the law. Love under will. Fraternally yours.